You're listening to today's inspirational message on the Proverbs with Kurt Bjorklund.
As we read Proverbs 22, and again, the best way to experience Proverbs is to read a full chapter, especially if you're using this 5 good minutes each day, maybe in a different translation, and jot some notes on what strikes you. But as I read Proverbs 22, I come to verse 10 and then verse 13 and verse 14, and what I see is a sense of warning in the Proverbs about people who can have a negative influence on us and who we can be negative by being those people. There's the scoffer, the sluggard, and the forbidden woman. Now, we've met all of these in Proverbs before. The scoffer is the one who is basically the one who is constantly creating situations with their words because they're constantly mocking things. And so what this is just simply saying is that strife follows a mocker. Where there's a mocker, there is strife. And the verse after this says, verse 11, where whose speech is gracious, he'll have kings as a friend. Gracious speech equals favor. So wherever there's strife, in a family, in a business, in a school, understand that there's usually someone, might even be you, who is constantly insulting and mocking and tearing down. Tremper Longman says it's not the situation, but the people involved in the situation that cause problems. And effective speech without integrity can make somebody manipulative. And integrity without effective speech can make one's influence ineffective. And that is something that we want to understand as we look at this. Now, the sluggard, again, we've met this person in Proverbs, is the one who says, there's a lion outside, I'll be killed in the streets. This is the person who makes excuses rather than taking on the challenge. And excuses are any words that we use to fill a gap between wanting and achieving, between saying, I want this, but I can't do it because. And here it's the lion outside saying, I can't go outside and work. But so often we have excuses because we say there is some reason that I can't move forward. And this is just a simple word to say, be careful with that as a way of thinking, because it does not ultimately move us in a good direction. Our expectations are often the excuses we make to explain why other people have succeeded. These are our expectations. There are exceptions, really, that we look for. And then excellence are the actions that we do with sustained effort. And to avoid being a sluggard is to say, I won't live in the world of excuses and exceptions, but in the world of excellence. And then verse 14, the mouth of the forbidden woman is a deep pit. He with whom the Lord is angry will fall into it. And this is striking again, just coming back. It's been here. The idea is of just being indulgent, and the Lord lets us fall into our own indulgence whenever we are at odds with God. And the idea ultimately of this, just these couple verses, I think, is to be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. 1 Corinthians 15 says, don't be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. If you hang around with mockers, soon everything will be, how can we tear this down? And your speech won't be gracious, and you will find yourself in acrimonious situations. If you hang around with sluggards, excuses will feel like the norm instead of striving for excellence. And if you hang around with indulgent people, you'll find yourself at some point in a deep pit saying, God's ways are not important to me compared to what it is that I can experience. So who is influencing you? I heard somebody once say that show me your closest friends and I'll show you your future. So who is it that's influencing you today? And what do you want your future to look like?
Thanks for joining us here today. There's a lot of great content to explore on Orchard Hill Plus and on the Orchard Hill main feed from the weekend. Have a great day.